up a dive. Feel the vibe, get ready to ignite. Untold stories in the airways, flying through the night. Experience voices, tales so bold. Streaming live, the truth unfolds. Untold Radio Network, where secrets come alive. New episodes daily, the mysteries thrive. Great guests, super chat, it's so I remember I share and subscribe. Join the side where truth can't hide. Aliens in the attic, UFOs in the sky. Cryptids lurking, oh my, oh my. Ghosts in the hallway, whispering your name. The paranormal, the unexplained. Become a VIP, get the inside scoop. Unlock the mysteries, be part of the group. Live streaming stories, they're talking to you. Super chats buzzing, join the crew. Untold Radio Network, where secrets come alive. New episodes daily, the mysteries thrive. Great guests, super chat, it's a wild member ride. Share and subscribe, join the side where truth can hide. So if you've got the guts and you want to explore, tune into the Untold, it's what you're looking for. From aliens to ghosts and all that's unseen. Untold Radio Network, where the world's mysteries convene.
Good morning and welcome to the Paranormal Spectrum live here on the Untold Radio Network. I am your host, Barnaby Jones, and we are live in studio today here. So if you guys have any questions or comments throughout the show, throw them in the comments section. We'll get to them as soon as possible. Coming up, guys, from Cryptids, Anomalies, and the Paranormal Society, we are heading to Eau Claire, Wisconsin for the Midwest MetaParacon, April 11th through the 13th. It's a great big 3-day event filled with paranormal activities, speakers, and vendors. Check out all the lists of the people that are going to be there at MidwestMetaParacon.com. And then, guys, in May, we head to the Wisconsin Cryptids, Anomalies, and Paranormal Convention, May 9th through the 11th. We kick off Friday with a Bigfoot expedition and VIP dinner. Saturday is all kinds of fun vendors and our speakers, as well as the premiere of the Cryptids, Anomalies, and Paranormal Society's brand new documentary, The Wisconsin Hairy Man, Bigfoot in Wisconsin.
Right here in the road, and it was right on the line, standing right there.
Whatever it was breaking trees, breaking branches, and I've never heard that before.
And from the basement door, I was like, Louie, I'm pretty sure there's a footprint out here.
And that's when the rocks started coming out of this tree line.
All I seen was hair. And it was like arched over right here.
And then out of nowhere we hear this loud, like earth-shaking grunt.
It rolled its shoulder and grabbed the ground and pulled itself towards my vehicle.
And I heard a plunk, and I come over here, and that squash was laying about right there in the middle of my garden, you know.
How do you walk in that in bare feet? at 30-degree temperature.
Did you see that?
What was that? I saw something dark and light from the right to the left.
It was big.
Could be the elusive Bigfoot.
VIP tickets for that on Friday are almost sold out right now. So if you're interested in coming out Bigfooting with us and the VIP dinner on Friday, get your tickets now. Otherwise, guys, no matter where you are in the world, you can check out the convention. We have virtual tickets available, and you can live stream all of our speakers as well as the documentary that night for just $5. Head on over to wisconsincaps.com. Click on the CapCon link on the homepage for all the details. After that, guys, in June, we head down to the Chicago Paranormal Convention, June 7th, and then I will be at Silicon in Illinois in September. So all that is coming up here, guys. Make sure you check that out if you want to show your support for all things here on the Untold Radio Network. Here's how.
Hey, Untold Radio Network fans. Want exclusive perks and to support our channel? Introducing our YouTube membership program with 3 amazing levels. Get loyalty badges that level up to different cryptids the longer you're a supporter. How cool is that? You'll also get access to custom Bigfoot emojis and priority in chat. Upgrade to Backstage Pass for exclusive wallpapers, photos, status updates, discounted books, and merchandise. Go all in with the producer level for everything mentioned plus member shoutouts. Ready for an enhanced experience? Join now, pick your membership level, and let's make this journey even more exciting together.
All right, guys, as I said at the beginning, we are live in studio today. So if you have any questions for my guests, feel free to throw it in the comments section. That's right, guests. Ladies and gentlemen, what originally started as a group of friends excited about trying their hand at paranormal investigating in early 2021 led to what Phantasm Paranormal has become today. The passion and excitement that came from the curiosity of the unexplained is the reason that Aaron and Mike officially founded Phantasm Paranormal as a team. They are now entering their 4th season as official team and going strong. They currently have 8 members and are based in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and they have team members throughout the state of Wisconsin. They're also open to new members if they fit. Their team has a lot of members with the love and passion for what they do. Phantasm Paranormal investigating is only part of who they are. They love to help locations and other teams where they can spread ParaUnity as much as possible. They are passionate about saving locations and supporting the spirits that reside inside. With that, guys, please welcome to the show Aaron, Mike, and Ann from Phantasm Paranormal. Thanks for being here, guys. How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Thanks for joining us, Barnaby.
You are welcome. You are welcome. I want to say thank you again. You guys are awesome sponsors of the Wisconsin Cryptids, Anomalies, and Paranormal Convention. So thank you guys for that as well. Looking forward to having you guys there and promoting all the cool stuff that you guys get going on as well. So you guys started out 4 years ago. What started it? What got you started into this, and how did obviously Mike and Aaron, you guys started it? So where did you guys meet each other and get drawn into this whole thing?
We're brothers.
Oh,
We met each other at our parents' haunted home when we were children. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. That's it. Where's the story? Tell us about your haunted home.
The Poltergeist house in Appleton.
There you go. Yeah.
What kind of things happened there? What did you grow up seeing that made you believe in all this?
Probably just getting thrown down the stairs by an unseen force, I think. Did it for me. Shadow figures, paralysis. It was pretty interesting.
Wow. Okay.
That's a little different.
You can't just this is a podcast. We can't just drop bombs like that and leave it. Yeah, I got thrown down the stairs. No big deal. And we're moving on with this. So from when did that start happening? Like, did you grow up in that house from the beginning? Were you born there? Did you move into it? When did the activity start happening? Did it escalate? Obviously, what was going on there?
I was born there. I think that started probably when I was 5. I think I took my first tour down the steps when I was 6, maybe.
The first one.
Yeah. It was pretty brutal. I was born in Kimberly, but then when Mom and Dad bought that house, but it was almost kind of immediately. Like now, Mom and Dad were like, "Oh yeah, you had 3 imaginary friends." Well, they weren't imaginary friends. And then he had seen the shadow figure too, and as a kid, he used to call him Dirt because he couldn't.
That was the worst word I knew when I was like 4. So that's what I nicknamed him, the worst word that I knew.
And I know people say, well, was it really Poltergeist house? Was it in your head? I mean, I remember sitting there watching TV with my parents up north, and the door just swung completely almost off. The hinges opened up. Couldn't even get it to close. Finally, I give up. I don't even care. And then it closed and it locked again. I'm like, a lot of stuff would fall in different rooms that you weren't in. It would just throw stuff all over the place.
Footsteps.
When
there's nobody home but you.
And that was like that for until I moved out. It was like that.
Yeah, it left with him.
I hope not.
Did the activity stop when you moved out? Were you still there?
Yep, I was still there.
And it stopped when he moved out?
Yep.
Interesting.
But you also have to talk about the revisit that you did too.
I mean, it's there. Yeah, we went there a couple summers ago. A couple of team members, we went to the Riverside Cemetery in Appleton, and just for some shits and grins, we stopped by the old house in Appleton, and the lady's like, "Hey, you want to come in?" We're like, "Of course." You know, I've been telling these guys about this for years. Absolutely. So we took a tour of the house, and the tension was so bad that the 6'3" guy that we were with, big guy, couldn't even stand in the kitchen. He was just dizzy, falling over. They dug up the backyard and put bricks in, like from how many feet down all the way. I mean, there's some stuff going on there.
They found weird artifacts and dishes and all
kinds
kinds
of Indian artifacts in the backyard. But yeah, they dug up the whole backyard for some reason.
And his girlfriend got 3 scratches on her neck.
Yeah, yep.
It was definitely a wild place to live for sure.
Yeah.
Sounds like it. Definitely sounds like it. So obviously that kind of piqued your interest. Were you guys scared growing up there then? Or was it more interesting? Like, when did that turn from my house is haunted to I want to learn more about this and get into it?
Terrified. Absolutely terrified. He hung with a group of people after we moved out. They were real big into the paranormal, the occult, you name it. And, you know, they'd kind of learn more, I guess, but I was completely scared of it until 4 years ago.
And that was weird because I told him I didn't want any part of it once I left all that. I didn't ever want to go back to it, but he's very convincing that that we were going to do this and this was going to happen.
I just wanted to go for the old building at the Sheboygan Asylum.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Anne, how did you get sucked into all this then?
My story is a little bit different than theirs. Luckily, I did not grow up with, I know there were spirits in my childhood home, but I didn't think anything because they weren't really in your face kind of spirits. It's like you might hear knocks or whatever, and it's like, it's old house, and you just kind of blow it off. but nothing really happened in the house. I've always been interested in mediumship and that part of the paranormal, but as for ghosts and spirits and Bigfoot and everything else, I'm like, nope, I was chicken. I'm like, nope, I'm not doing any of that. And about 2 years ago, I was going through a divorce. And I'm like, you know what? I'm looking to do something that's not anything that I have ever done before. And I was commenting on a couple other teams' posts around here saying, you know, maybe someday I'll get the guts to come out and join you on an investigation. And Aaron happened to see my post and he's like, hey, we have an investigation coming up next month. We have 2 spots open. You're welcome to join us. Well, I had worked in the Department of Corrections for 10 years. So I'm like, do I go with these people that I don't know to an abandoned place? Like, this just sounds like a murder mystery to me. But something inside me said, no, you can go. You're going to be okay. And I never left. I just fell in love with it. And, you know, it really became a family very quickly.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So talk about the team. So there's the 3 of you, and you said there was eight members total. So who else is on your team? What other backgrounds do they have? Do you have a medium on your team? What else you got?
We have a lot of everything. I'm an empath healer. Ann is an empath healer. Mike is a gatekeeper. And we do have a demonologist. We do have
protectors.
Yeah.
We do have a medium on the team also. You know, everyone that we have found or that finds us seems to have some sort of ability, even if they don't know it at first. You know, the people on our team can look at them and say, this is your gift. And we try to bring that out in them and make them realize what they're actually capable of and what they can do.
Get Jax.
Okay.
Almost as if they're drawn to the team. You know, like people don't realize why they're supposed to be there, but they have this calling that gets pulled into it.
Yeah. And that's something that we really like about our team is we are not out there saying, hey, applications open in October. If you want to join the team, you can apply from this date to this date. Mm-hmm. We leave it open. If Spirit says that you should be with us, then it's going to happen. And it doesn't matter if you have an ability or not. Anybody can be taught how to investigate, but how to be a good person, that is what is more important to us. Mm-hmm. And how you fit with our group.
And like with Ann, when I was talking to her, you know, even just online, I'm like, oh, so you're an empath healer? She's like, I don't know if I fit that shoe. I mean,
like I've been told that before, but I don't know.
And it's weird that you would just pick up on it right off the bat. Like, I definitely, I like the fact that it's very strange that all these people will come to us. Mm-hmm. Because we're pretty small group. We are definitely out there and we definitely are always trying to do something, but it's amazing the people that will show up and be like, it's like they show up and they never leave. Mm-hmm.
I'm proof. 2 years ago and I'm still here.
And she's definitely a cornerstone of our group for sure.
Very cool. So you guys do like a lot of outreach, right? You go out and you know, try and teach people and show them what you guys do. Tell me a little bit about that.
It's starting to become one of our biggest passions because you see a lot of people will post online, hey, I'd really like to try that. I'd really like to do this. I don't have equipment. And we love to try to accommodate as best we can. I mean, some people live way up north and they don't drive, and it would be really hard to, unless we had an investigation up there to accommodate them. But we really do love taking new people because sometimes you pick up more people that do have abilities and the team gets bigger.
And it also helps to keep things in perspective, I think, because, you know, we get used to REM pods going off and yay, thank you. I appreciate talking to you. But for a new person, the excitement that they're like, oh my gosh, did you see that? You know, it really helps to kind of bring that back into how we felt when we first experienced it and seeing how it, you know, seeing it through their eyes again and reliving
And as being empaths, we feel that too. So we get that excitement also through them.
And with our unique mix of people, we get so much activity, 90% of the time that we just forget. We can have what a new person would consider the craziest night of their life. We're like, wow, that could have been better.
Yeah.
It's almost like, yeah, we got some stuff. Whereas the new person's like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. That I had the time of my life.
I hear that, like when I go into work and stuff and people are like, oh, how was your weekend? And I think, well, I, went bigfooting and then I looked for UFOs and I had a paranormal investigation and nope, typical weekend. Yeah, I didn't do anything really. And after that happened a couple times, I started thinking about it. I'm like, that's not a typical weekend. And you're absolutely right. When this stuff starts happening, the REM pod starts going off, and and you understand like how things work, and you forget the magic or what have you of this experience of that you're actually communicating with something that it's really interesting to be able to re-experience that again. And
yes,
it's very cool.
And a good thing about our team is we are very equipment heavy. So all this stuff that people are seeing on TV, we're like, hey, we have one of those. You want to try it out? Because if you do start to investigate on a regular basis, you don't have the money to put into all the equipment. So here, see if this jives with you. If this is something that if you continue to do this, you might want to purchase.
Instead of, hey, I bought this for $600, hated it.
Right. Or found out you went ghost hunting and hated it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we do love to teach people the equipment, how it works, what it all does. And it really does feel like they get immersed in the whole experience. Kind of like they watch, certain ghost shows, stuff like that. And you kind of wonder, oh, I wonder what that would be like. And to actually be able to put people into that spot, people really do enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
We're just a group of friends. We're not, we don't sit at a place, hey, can you hear me? Can you say my name? I mean,
do you know you're dead?
Yeah, we love going to new buildings and exploring and goofing around with one another. And if something happens, great. And for some reason, the spirits really seem to like that.
Mm-hmm. I've noticed when we do our public tours and stuff at Bean Snappers, and the more energy the people come in and bring to that investigation, the more energy the spirits put out. If you come in and you're like, oh, hey, is anybody here? And then you walk over there and do this, you don't get a lot of activity. But when you come in, you're like, hey, is anybody here with me? Do you want to communicate? And, my name is this. And, more people doing that, and it brings up the whole energy of the building and has more fun, and there's so much more activity off of those things. We had
dirty jokes too.
Oh, we
like to do that.
We've all been to Bean Snappers, so we have got plenty of ammo for that place.
We had a guy from Tennessee come up here with an accent and stuff, and he was a lot of fun, and he was throwing money on stage and dancing, and I think that was the most active night that we've actually had at that place ever, was this guy just going nuts in that place and doing all this stuff, and he had a lot of activity. So yeah.
But I do agree, it's the attitude and excitement when you go into it, because if you're expecting, like I said, we've done it so much that it takes a little bit more for us to realize, wow, we got a lot of activity.
Mm-hmm.
And if you come in with the wrong attitude, it's just like some spirits were alive. And if you're like, oh, throw something at me, oh, I guess nothing's happening. But if you go into a place knowing you wouldn't be able to go into it anyway, and you get to stay there for a night, you get to take pictures, you get to do all kinds of stuff, and you just have fun, it really does seem like it brings out the best in what the location has.
So I have to ask, is there someone in the room behind you?
Oh, you saw the door open.
It was actually the dog this time.
Okay.
There are spirits here. We have investigated this house before.
There's definitely spirits here also. Yeah.
Ever since I got back from Jericho Church and Trans-Allegheny, this place has been just as active as any other place we've ever been.
Nice.
But in all fairness, the day that you moved in, there was one here already.
Yeah.
There's just probably a couple more now.
The one in the attic, my daughter will say, hey, did you go upstairs and go in the attic last night? I'm like, why the hell would I go to the attic? I'm like, that place is scary for hell no. And she's like, oh, well, someone walked up the stairs, stopped by my door, and then went in the attic but never came out. I'm like, oh, okay, good.
Interesting. So you guys have had activity at your own homes still now?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yep.
Every once in a while you'll bring one home with you. I've had one with me on and off since we went to Trans 2 years ago. And actually just the other night I got up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, and I looked down the hallway and there was a figure standing there. It's like, okay, we're just gonna do our business and go back to bed. I don't care who you are right now. As long as you're not hurting me, that's fine.
I definitely have 3 of them at my house right now that are not paying rent.
Now, do any of you have spirits at your houses that do pay rent? Because that would be a fun trick.
Right?
I wish.
You know, if you learn how to do it, that'll be a part of the teaching that will.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Out there.
Yes. There's a vending machine at Bean Snappers, and I always joke that whenever I go there, I try and get the ghost to give me a free piece of candy, and so far they haven't done it yet. If you can make a REM pod go off, you can make that vending machine tick and then drop that candy down for me.
You can grab a broom.
Yeah. Exactly. See, but that I've heard stories of them doing. I had a team on my show a while ago that actually said that there was a broom standing directly upright in their kitchen. And so they can grab brooms. You just got to train them.
Interesting.
Yeah. So one of the things that, you guys talked about in your bio and stuff is that, you're interested in the history of the locations and the people that were there. And I think a lot of times when people go into these locations, or what you see on TV and stuff, is the first thing that people always jump to is it's a demon. And I absolutely hate that. That is the way that TV has perpetrated things, and it's all about the scare and the viewers and all that stuff. But when you're out on these investigations, it's really important to realize that the spirits that you're communicating with are just people that have passed. And there's that need of respect that when you're communicating with these people, you get a lot better results when you treat them that way, like a person. And you guys talk about caring a lot about the history and stuff like that. So tell me a little bit more about that.
I only care about the history after the fact, because I never want to walk into an investigation with that idea that, oh, well, somebody saw a lady up on the top of the stairs, wearing an 1800s dress or anything like that. I like to do the history portion after we're done investigating. That way I can actually see, did something that I see line up, or,
And the same for me. People say, hey, do you want the hot spots on the location or any of the history? No, but we dig into it through the investigation. We were at a church, a convent, and school, and kept coming up with all kinds of information that, later on you can actually find out that, hey, that really did happen. So we kind of find the history through our investigation and then try to match it up later on without, oh, hey, these people heard this or that person heard this. And I do agree with you on the demon aspect, because a lot of people are like, ooh, that's what I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Is it really what
That's
you want
what
to
sells.
But in your travels, if you travel long and far enough, will you run into something that was never a human being? I think you will.
Mm-hmm.
I have also experienced that.
But one in the however many places we've ever been.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, you take stuff home, and you're right. You can't just classify that, oh, that was demonic, because there are a lot of levels, a lot of tiers of what's actually really out there.
There's a lot of spirits that'll try to act like one just to get a rise out of you.
Mm-hmm. And just like in life, you're going to have some spirits that are just jerks, and they're unhappy, and they're people you don't want to be around, but that doesn't mean they're a demon at all.
Right.
You know, it's the same thing. You're just dealing with somebody not wearing their meat suit at the same time. You know, they might be a happy ghost, they might not be. It's just what happens. And I think for me, with the historical part of it, I like the history of the building itself, not necessarily the spirits that might have passed there or that are still roaming around there. Like, I like to see the beauty in the old buildings and the way they were created and maybe what they were used for at one time. And then after that, we will go into the investigation and see who wants to talk to us and tell us their story.
Absolutely. I tend to agree with that. I like going into locations and knowing the history of the building. I don't really care about the paranormal that's there. That'll come out. But I still want to know, what was the building? What was this room used for? And, that kind of stuff, because it's really hard to go through a building and just not know any of that, because you're missing out on stuff. You're missing out on being able to ask questions. You're missing out on follow-ups to certain things, like when a ghost says something, or you get answers on a spirit box or something and you don't know the history of the building, you can't follow up, and those are missed opportunities. Right. So we for our team and stuff, we like to have our mediums and stuff don't know anything that goes on. They don't want to know any of that, but we do send the first team in to do all the interviews and get the tour and stuff, so that at least somebody on our team that's working with them still knows all this, so we can fill in and pick up the storyline and stuff when we need to. And I think that kind of complements each other when you're doing this stuff.
Right. For sure.
Absolutely. So where's been each of your favorite locations that been to? You've mentioned a couple different locations and things that have happened there, but
Trans-Allegheny.
Yep. Trans will always be top of my list. I'm addicted to that place. I don't know. There's something that just calls me back.
No equipment needed either. I brought probably $8,000 worth of equipment and I used none of it. I walk down the halls and they're whispering in my ears.
You can see them poking out of doors.
Running up behind me. I asked one, I'm like, hey, if you're in that room, can you peek your head out? And a shadow looked out and I'm like, yeah, that wasn't supposed to happen. Like, that still gives me chills to this day. Like, I've asked that question a million times and that's the only time it's ever happened.
I saw a doppelganger of one of our team members. That's something I've never seen before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was racing with one of our team members down the stairs, and she was on the other staircase.
Yeah, she was right behind me, but when I got to the bottom, she was facing me. I'm like, that is not even possible. So it was a very amazing place. It was definitely, it's actually on our list to go back to in August.
August 13th, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Very cool. So you guys, what do you do with all the evidence that you capture then?
We've been pretty lax on that lately.
Yeah, we've been doing it just for us. I mean, we could do it for other people and, we do take video, but for the most part, we're just doing it for our own experience and for the people that are hanging out with us at the time.
Last year, we kind of got sidelined into a different project. So we kind of got away from a lot of the evidence review. But I know that's something that I really want to get more into this year, of reviewing everything and maybe putting together some videos and showing people what we are up to, because we do have some pretty interesting and fun things booked for this year already.
And we're kind of hoping we get more people that might be more into sitting for 16, 17, 18 hours going through video to help out too, because we get so many investigations and you get the collabs.
I'm out. I can't even go through my EVPs.
And that's the thing. There is so much to it, and it takes so much time to do it that we got a little laxed on it.
That was going to be my next question is, I've known from personal experience. I mean, we walk out of places, we've got 8 cameras running, and all of that is times, minimum like 3 to 4 hours, all the way up to 8 hours a night of all these cameras, and to go back through all that footage is insane. Have you guys found a decent way to kind of share that, or what do you guys do for evidence review?
It is difficult because most of our team members are just in the moment. This is what happened. They'll take some pictures, maybe some videos on their phone, but nothing that will really document that we could use in other ways. Whereas me, I like doing EVPs. So, I mean, I usually review all of my own audio. I know Megan, she does audio and video, and she reviews her own stuff. So, you know, it's something that we want to try to get more footage of us investigating this year and put some stuff together. And we're hoping that some of our teammates will like to lessen the load for us when it comes to reviewing a little bit.
That's really what I would like to see more of too, because we do get a lot of great activity, but it's like Ann said, we live in the moment, and it's like, because I can see, it's great to see that you can take equipment and actually be able to see, yep, oh, hey, he really does see something standing over in the corner, or but I get so immersed in that, it's hard to remember to record it all.
Yeah, that is Aaron's gift. He can actually see the spirit. So he'll be looking down a hallway and you can see him zone in. It's like, there's somebody down there, isn't it? It's like, yes. Grab an SLS. Sure enough. There's always someone where he's seeing it.
Yeah, one of my favorite things to do, you know, like I said, we and I love watching other teams come in with all their equipment, because I basically get to shop and go, I like that. I'm ordering one of those next, and I need one of those, and that's always fun. I always end up buying stuff after people show up at these tours and that. So I'm really excited to see what you guys got, because you said you're very tech heavy, and so I was gonna say, he's not what's making that noise for anybody watching on video.
All right, we're good.
So you said you guys were very tech heavy. Besides obviously EMF meters, REM pods, like we talked about, what are your each of your favorite pieces of equipment? Like something weird that you've found that maybe you don't really see on TV or something like that.
I like the SB7 Pro with a positive grid speaker. It's a speaker that a lot of guitarists use because it electronically adds the reverb and all the pedals. So instead of walking around with a huge portal with a huge speaker, and it's just a tiny little speaker that hooks up to your spirit box, and they're both about the same size.
Very cool. Nice. Ann? Or you know, Aaron, whichever.
I'm into semi trucks. That was always my thing growing up. And I had a custom made REM pod that's a semi truck.
That honks.
And the lights flash and everything.
Yes, it does. It's very scary when it's quiet and it goes off.
It's pretty neat.
For me, I'm not a fan of the alarms. So anything with an alarm, I'm like, not going to happen. I tend to stick to things like tripwires, tracers, music boxes, something that's not that in your face.
Yep.
I can't stand it.
I'm sure the spirits don't like that as well.
Yes.
Getting honked at every time that they trip something or activate it or that. So.
The semi truck for some reason intrigues them. Like, it looks like a toy, so they kind of want to play with it, but then they get a little scared of it at first, but then it's like, I'll forget about it, and then all of a sudden it'll start going off. It's like,
and if you hold it long enough, like the engine will start up and it'll kind of make the shaky noise. And
Really?
Yeah.
It's funny though, with all the XLS cameras and all the expensive stuff. Yeah. 9 times out of 10, it's always your most basic stuff that we use the most.
Now, do you guys think that that's because, you know, when we're dealing with the spirits on the other side, you know, some of the older spirits don't understand new technology, right? They don't understand computers. They weren't around. They weren't alive during that time. So the more simple things, you know, I always, you know, one of my members of the team is like, hey, can you touch that REM pod? Go touch the REM pod. I'm like, they don't know what a REM pod is. You know, you have to talk to the spirits in their language. in their terms of recognition. Can you touch the round object on the floor with the red flashing light, and take it to that very basic level? And I think a lot of people don't realize that, we're so familiar with using these pieces of equipment that this is what it's called, oh, look, I'm a professional, I know what this is. And nobody that's, passed away and hasn't been a paranormal investigator in their life understands what this stuff is.
Mm-hmm. I was one of the first teams that went down to the 1861 Masonic Lodge in Illinois last year when it first opened. And the spirits were just going crazy with equipment because they were like, what's that? What's that? What's that? It was really fun. So you do have the inquisitive ones that are like, if I touch this, what'll it,
Have you ever had a piece of equipment that just nothing wants to interact with it? Like at any of your locations?
3 or 4 of them. Yeah. Then you finally get that first one. You're like, it does work. I knew it.
That's awesome.
It's always fun when you buy a new piece of equipment and it goes off for the first time. And it's like, yes, it's not a dud. It works.
Absolutely. I find it very interesting. Like, these different pieces of equipment, each one is made to do a different thing. And whenever I buy something personally, it's because, okay, we're going to this investigation and the people that own this house say that this specifically happens. Okay, well, I need to check for that. So we get a specific piece of equipment for that reason. And then I have all these crates of stuff, that are for one specific investigation that we used it. I have a methane detector. How often am I going to use that on an investigation? Well, I bought it because one location I needed to use this, but now I have an excuse and I own all these different things in that. So I like these very specific items because, you can use it for maybe just that one investigation, but it's important because if you know what the piece of equipment does and you understand it, everything that you get off of that piece of equipment is so much more valuable because you can rule out all the stuff that it's not. You say, well, this could be, a false trigger. This could be a false trigger or whatever. And when you throw all that garbage out, anytime you get something that's left is a truly nice piece of evidence. Yes. Thank you.
We love to test our equipment, absolutely stretch out just the limits of what it can do just to see what it'll do. Because I know certain SLS cams, if you point it at a music box, will make it go off. REM pods will go off with walkie-talkies. So we love to try to test and kind of tune everything to make sure. Because I know that's one of the things I hear a lot of. Well, there's no proof of it. You may have that equipment, but it's all false. There's no proof to it.
Well, there's no proof against it either. That's why it's paranormal. It's unexplained.
Can't be scientifically explained. Yeah.
Now that's interesting. I haven't heard. Obviously, I hope everyone understands that walkie-talkies, CBs, and stuff, false trigger REM pods. I hope that is common knowledge for anybody that's listening out there that's interested in this, because I do a presentation on this of the science of the paranormal, and I actually show a clip from Expedition X where they're going, oh my gosh, the REM pod is going off when I walk in this room, and he's talking on the walkie the whole time. Yeah. I don't, oh, it's going off again, he says, and I'm like, it's because you're talking into your walkie.
On command, look at that.
So I would hope that this is common knowledge for most people, but the SLS triggering the music boxes I haven't heard before.
Just the regular SLS.
XCAM SLS.
And what kind of music boxes are you using?
Paranormal music box.
Yeah, the
Paraforce.
Paraforce, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's what I got. So
I have a couple off Etsy that I like too, that you can customize the sounds, and that's kind of my go-to when it comes to music boxes, and a little more affordable than the Paraforce.
But I do like the fact that we test all the equipment together to see if one piece of equipment is triggering another piece of equipment.
Mm-hmm. little bit of scientific method there.
Mhm.
You know, when you go on these investigations and one piece of equipment keeps triggering, and you're like, well, why is that? And you start looking at what is going on around it and changing some variables and seeing if you're still getting those same results. And that's absolutely important in, you know, everything that we do, because like I said, when you can rule out everything except one piece of evidence that night, that one piece of evidence becomes so much stronger and such a better piece of evidence.
Mhm.
Exactly.
And I think that's why I like that we are so tech heavy, because it's like, oh, that music box has been playing all night. Someone bring me another one. Let's put them side by side and see if they drive up.
Let's change the batteries.
Now we'll grab another XLS cam and put it right next to it to make sure we're all seeing what Aaron's seeing.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I love it.
We got more than 3 kinds of SLSs.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So you talked about some of the stuff that you got coming up. You know, this year you're looking at doing some investigations and stuff. What kind of public outreach and stuff are you guys doing? Do you have anything coming up that people can come out and investigate with you, or any kind of stuff that you got planned and need to get out there for people?
On you, Ann.
As of right now, we only have team investigations booked for the year. But if spots do open up, we will open that up to the public to come out and join us. We are still pretty early in the planning process of our public outreach. So we are still trying to find locations that'll let us bring in the public and do our thing. And that's something that we've been working on. And as soon as we have those details, we will put them out there for everyone to sign up. Current teams, if you're interested in collaborations, reach out to us. We are more than interested in that. Otherwise, everything will be on our Facebook page as soon as we have the details hashed out. You can see us at CapCon in May, and we'll also be sponsoring and vending at Paranormal Rockdown at Broadhead in July.
Very cool. You guys going down to Chicago as well?
Thinking about it.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
We just saw the ad and we're like, are we going to that?
Yeah. I was talking to Aaron about that yesterday, and I'm like, see, that's what I was talking about, the Chicago one.
We have a couple Milwaukee members, so we could grab them on the way and go hang out.
Yeah, that's a pretty awesome event. I haven't talked too much about it on our show here yet this year because it's still pretty far out, but that is Jack Chavez's event. And I've been at every one of them that he's done so far, except for one that I was double booked at, but it's a huge, I mean, you want vendor heavy. When he says 80 plus vendors, there's definitely 80 plus vendors at this down in Countryside, Illinois. It's a really good time. He's got a lot of great speakers. Every year he brings in for this, and not necessarily, you know, your big TV star people and stuff, but the people that are actually out there doing it, local authors and stuff that do the research and the investigating and stuff. And I'll be speaking again this year, you know, awesome people, you know, I'll be speaking anyway. But no, he does a really great job, and he's probably going to be on a couple weeks here as well to promote that. But it's definitely a good time if you're looking at coming down and checking it out. So.
You mentioned chasing UFOs. I mean, I'm interested. What do we do?
What do you do? There's Zach Screedy, who was on my show a couple weeks ago, does the CE5 down in southern Wisconsin. He has a property that they go out and do this on, and we're definitely looking at going out to one of his campouts this year and filming stuff for the Caps team. CE5 is really interesting because you actually try and draw in the UFOs instead of chasing them around the state. You try and bring them to you. So definitely an interesting place. So very cool. Very cool. Yes. Daniel Barnett is in the audience today. He was just my guest here on Monday. Thanks for tuning in. And we are live, guys, for anybody that is interested in questions or comments for our team here as well. There you go. See, look at Lee. Look at Lee. E5 Kangaroo. It just so happens it is the same weekend as CapCon. So I will not be there, and I assume that Phantasm Paranormal also won't be there. And Lee won't be there either because I know has tickets to CapCon. So,
all right.
But
Lee,
for anybody else out there.
hi. I'd love to meet you in person.
You haven't met Lee yet?
I don't think so.
Oh, you're in for something there. Lee's awesome. There we go. Well, that's it here. And yes, Lee, I am well aware that I did not say the correct name of our own documentary. Thanks for pointing that out. Anyway, June. What is June? June. It's June. It is not June, Lee. It is not June, Lee. What is in June? Drink. Yes.
Hey, I need to hang out with you guys if this is turned into a drinking game. Like, this could be fun.
Lee started a thing at the beginning of my show that whenever I screw up things, that it's a drinking game. So when I mispronounce things, the intros or screw stuff up, there's a drinking game.
Penalty.
If the Camperoo is in June, May 9th to May 11th is 5. June would be 6. Lee. 6'9" to 6'11". There we go. Anyway, let's see. What else haven't we covered, you guys? Like, let's talk about you. We talked about your favorite place to investigate, but besides drink again. Anyway, that place. What has been your best piece of evidence? Like, what equipment wise, or anything that you've caught EVP wise or anything? What have you gotten?
Even some of the teaching, because some of our own investigators are like, "Oh, I'd love to see what you see."
Oh,
do
yeah.
You really want to?
Mm-hmm.
I know we were at Sheboygan Asylum one time, and one of the investigators had said, "I really want to see what you see," and then once they did.
Like, nope, I'm out.
Nope, I'm not doing this. Nope.
Mm-hmm. I hear that a lot, like from the people that have those abilities. They say, like, people want to see this, and it becomes so overwhelming. Like, our team gets called to do private investigations and stuff. And I want to say, I don't know, like 50% of the time, we'll say maybe it's the people that are calling us in have abilities. And they don't know how to control those abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're seeing their whole house is haunted and all these things are coming and, coming at them and stuff. But it's only because they're open to it. And the other side knows that you're able to see them and interact. And they're super excited because they're like, oh my gosh, somebody actually can see me and hear me and interact with me. And these people are completely freaked out because, they don't know how to deal with that. So I get that.
That's where the asylum, anytime I go to an asylum, it kills me because there was so many of them and they try to get you all at once.
Oh, yeah.
It creates such a headache for a long time. And it really is hard to learn how to deal with that all at once because you have hundreds of beings trying to talk to you all at the same time. It gets real confusing.
So how do you deal with that?
I smoke a lot of cigarettes. I take a lot of breaks.
Okay.
Leaves the building.
A lot of diet do. Sit outside for a minute. Yeah.
Kind of reground yourself and go back in for a little bit.
They all thought I didn't like them and I was antisocial, but it's just to relax.
We ask where Aaron is a lot.
I see. Definitely.
Just trying to center and reground again.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely something that you need to do. When you go into these places, you're opening yourself up to whatever's in there. And that can lead to a whole bunch of nasty stuff. Like you said, bringing stuff home, you got the hitchhiker effect and all that stuff, and protecting yourself before you go in there and try and make contact is probably more important than anything you do while you're there. Because if you're not protected and you're not centered in yourself, you're going to have problems and it's going to lead to taking things home. And this is where people have these problems with taking things home and dealing with them and the attachments and stuff like that is not properly protecting when you enter or leave a building.
And a lot of people don't understand what to do with it after they did it because there's not a lot of, hey, Google, show me how to get rid of a ghost in my house.
Right. Or at the end of Ghost Adventures, okay, so I took something home, and this is the cleansing process I use to at least keep them outside my house waiting for me when I leave versus in my house with me.
Mm-hmm.
But that is also good to help teach with that aspect of it too, so that because people don't really know who to call if something like that were to happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people out there that have really good courses. We took a course by J.D. Radawan and Cassie Polzin about what to do with the spirits, how to deal with it, kind of how to protect yourself as you're doing the things you do. But there's a lot of good courses out there you can take to kind of get a feel for how to deal with things that stick around.
And they use the angelic part with the angels tied to what we do with ghost hunting. And it really does seem to be a very well-rounded program.
I think that's something that doesn't get mentioned a lot either is, we talk about, there's this demon in a house and there's spirits and stuff, but there's also good beings out there. You have your angels and your spirit guides and stuff. And there's not a lot of, like how many shows do you watch on TV where they talk about, we walked into a house and we met this angel, or, we talked to our spirit guides while we're in there. You don't hear that because that's not what people want. That's not what, that sells that entertainment and sells sponsorships of these shows. And that's unfortunate because they're not giving you the full picture of what's actually going on.
And that's the hardest one for me, because even if I said I've seen angels already, and people don't believe it because it's not, they don't want to hear that. They want to be, hey, did you see anything really bad?
Did you see anything with horns?
Did you get scratched? Did you get pushed?
But as a child, once, yes, I did see an angel. And once in my adult life, I also did. So it's been a couple of times already.
Let me ask you this. Is it, you can answer this how you want, but was it under like good terms, or was something traumatic happening that it like a guardian angel kind of thing? Like,
yes.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yes, both.
Okay. Right. Interesting.
Like Mike said, I had friends that dabbled in a bunch of different occult stuff. And at one point in my life, I came to a crossroad with it, and that helped me out of it. Mm-hmm. And one I saw at the old house, and then the activity pretty much stopped, and then I just let it be until we decided to start a paranormal team.
Yep.
Very good. Interesting. Awesome. Lee says that the camp out was 6/6 through the 8th, which is the same weekend as the Chicago Paranormal Convention. So that doesn't help much either. So
tis the season of everything at the same time.
Yeah.
First Contact Day 4/5. Zach may have an event as well. Zach Screedy is the guy that does the CE5 thing down there in southern Wisconsin. So he was on a previous episode. Go back and check that out. But there you go. If you're interested in UFOs while we're on the topic. Awesome. Very cool. So
I guess going back to the best piece of evidence that I've gotten, I was with a couple other investigators. We were hearing audible voices. We could hear people talking and laughing, women down the hallway. And we decided to pick up our stuff and follow and see if we could kind of track them down into a different area. And one of my teammates, we were kind of walking single file, and a teammate behind me got pushed. And she's like, oh my God, I just got pushed. Like, I'm in between people and I just got pushed. And then listening back to the audio, the EVP, like, you could hear something say, yep, that was me, and kind of laugh. And like, that was just really cool. But it's always nice when it's always creepy when you get touched, because you're like, okay, what was that? But then like hearing your name or something, it's like, okay, they know who I am. This is kind of cool.
You get kind of used to that. Yeah. I know some of it is really neat. We were on one location and something kept coming out of the corner, and the guy I was with is like, do you see something? I'm like, I don't know. I see something in the corner. And over his, what was that, Spirit Talker app?
I don't know.
Something like that. On his phone, all of a sudden it said, "I'm in the corner." And he's like, "Nope, I'm out of here." But there's a lot of neat stuff like that. And we get really good activity with a lot of different kinds of equipment. And sometimes even without. There's a couple investigations that we went really, really, really light with and had a great time too. And I think that's why we like to share, because we do have all the equipment to let other people use it and experience it. But I do know, like, all the teams are different. Some of them rely heavy on just equipment alone.
Mm-hmm.
And some run a little light.
Some rely on jump scares, and
that's really hard to sell, like when you bring people with, because if they have that, oh, this is like a jump scare thing. No.
Yeah, after 4 years, I don't really do a lot of jumping.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's more of just a big smile on my face, like, oh, it's finally starting. So
that was cool.
yeah, we're not going to find a bunch of jump scares with us.
And for our team, we really are a family. Like when we go on investigation, we make it a full day. We are riding together to the location. We are going out to eat together beforehand. We always bring cake because that is tradition. Phantasm tradition.
Stuff at one another.
You have to have cake.
120 quart cooler full of every kind of soda you can think of.
Yeah.
We really do. The team is based off people first. Whatever we can do for just all kinds of things to make everybody happy, or try to at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we do take people out to eat. They get to kind of meet and greet with us, and we'll take them investigating. And
so that is something when we do open up spots for a public haunt, we would also bring you along. Like, we are going out to eat. This is what we do. You are welcome to join us. You know, if you want to ride with us, that's cool. If you want to go out to eat, perfect. Like, you are part of our team for that night.
Yep.
Sweet. I'm going to join your team now because your team has cake. So, sorry, team, no longer caps. I'm joining Phantasm.
Really good cake.
Nobody brings cake to our investigations. I'm just saying.
Ann's brought an apple crisp. Yeah, all kinds of food.
Yep, different kinds of cheesecakes.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah, we get spoiled for sure.
But it's always fun. We go into it saying, hey, our main purpose is just to hang out and enjoy each other's company and have fun.
Yeah, because these are friends we haven't seen for a couple weeks or a month. So, you know, most of the time when most people are like, hey, can you make my EMF meter light up? You know, we're catching up on old events, and then something will happen.
Yeah, so that's our main focus, is just having fun. And if something cool happens along the way, if Spirit wants to participate, even better.
I think that's a great philosophy because, you know, like I said, you know, the more energy you bring to the investigation, the more interactions you have. People don't want to be, you know, like if somebody came over to your house and said, hey, can you turn the light on? Can you turn the light off? That's not fun, you know, but if you're sitting there and you can be part of the conversation and you guys are making fun of each other or telling jokes and doing that, you know, you get these interactions of, you know, the Spirit's like, yeah, that's right. You know, and does the little stuff to antagonize as well and stuff. And I think that they find that fun a lot more than just, you know, the make this light up, make that light up. And
yes.
Yeah,
what's your name? How did you die? You know, we don't want to do that as as people now. We're not going to do that in the afterlife. So
yeah, if somebody keeps having a piece of equipment go off, oh, you know, hey, is that your boyfriend? You know, shit, your boyfriend's in there. Oh, he's waiting for you. You know.
Absolutely. Have you guys ever gotten a reverse EVP? And what I mean is you hear a voice, like you have audio recorders going. You hear a voice, but when you go back and check the audio, it didn't record.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yes. I've had that a couple times on my thermal cam too. I hit record, go to play it back. It's like, it's not there. So it's like, I saw that. That was going to be really cool.
Yeah, but everyone in the room heard it.
Yeah.
You know, everyone heard the response. And you're like, oh, wait till I play this back. And there's nothing.
Exactly.
Oh, that's frustrating. I've had that twice now. That we have heard a woman's voice, and we had, let's see, 4 cameras running, one literally down the hallway where it was, and nothing picked it up. It's super frustrating because you all hear it. We got it on video. We all turn and look in the same direction. You know it was there, and there's nothing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, guys, we are at the end of the show. If anybody has any last minute questions, throw them in the comments section. Otherwise, you guys have a YouTube channel and a Facebook group. Going to talk about that and how people can find you and reach out if they want to join your team or follow you along.
Yep. So you can find us on Facebook, Phantasm Paranormal. This is our logo right here. It's going to be plastered all over. We do have YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Like I said, we did take a little break from it, but we are hoping to start back up and get those rolling again this year. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to any of us through Facebook, pretty much, and then we can get you from there. We also do have an email. It's phantasmparanormalwi@gmail.com. So if you're not into social media, feel free to email us and we can communicate that way too. Otherwise, keep watching our Facebook page and we'll let you know when we have some openings and let you know what we are up to.
Very cool. Do you guys do private investigations as well, like people's houses?
Yes.
We do.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So if anybody has anything that they're interested in having checked out or looked at, you guys are interested in coming out and look at that.
Absolutely.
Yep. Always there to help. Like we said, people first.
And we run with truck and a trailer, so we're all self-contained. So
awesome.
He loves his trailer.
It's pretty nice.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to guys hanging out with you. You guys are coming out to check out the Bean Snappers haunted building this coming Monday. And so hopefully you guys can get some cool evidence and throw that up on your Facebook page as well as your YouTube and stuff so everyone can see. Definitely should be a good time. I now expect cake at this event. I'm just saying, there's
100%. It'll be there.
You're part of our team that night. Come on.
So will it be a bean snapper cake? I don't know, but it'll be a cake.
There you go. And you guys are obviously going to be at the Wisconsin Cryptids, Anomalies, and Paranormal Convention in May. So if you guys, anybody out there wants to meet you guys in person, see some of your evidence or some of your equipment and stuff, you guys are going to be there as well. So make sure you check that out.
We will have some fun stuff available to purchase at our table too.
Merch.
Yes.
I love a good gift shop. No place that is open to the public should not have a gift shop. This is my personal opinion.
Agreed.
Exactly.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today and sharing your stories and experiences. It's been a blast, a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing you guys again and hanging out real soon.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely, guys.
Hi, guys.
All right, guys, that is our show for this week. Thank you all for tuning in and enjoying the show and hanging out with us. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Coming up in a couple weeks, guys, it is the 50th anniversary or 50th episode anniversary of the Paranormal Spectrum here. And we have an amazing panel of mediums and psychics coming on the show. So they're going to be answering all of your questions, your hard-hitting questions for psychics, as far as how do they do what they do? What do they do? Is there life after death? Is there a God? All of these questions and more shall be answered, hopefully, on the 50th episode. So get those questions in the back of your mind. Throw them in the comments section when we get to that episode and start thinking now because it's going to be a great episode. Looking forward to that. That's coming up in April. So just a heads up on that. Until then, guys, remember, we are all part of the paranormal spectrum. Take care, be well, and I'll see you next week.
You seem to know something